Hello everyone, welcome to today's session on Goods and Service Tax Filing. Today we are going to see how challans are generated in GST portal and how payments are made under GST. So before we proceed, let us quickly see what we did in our previous session. So in our previous session we learned about the filing of GSTR 3B return and how liabilities are offset and how the input tax credit is utilized to discharge the ultimate output tax liability. So let us proceed with today's session. Today we are going to generate online challans and see how payments are made under GST. So what is a challan? A challan is used to pay taxes, that is GST amount under the head CGST, SGST and IGST. Then it is also used to pay interest or late fee or penalty. The challan that is used to pay taxes or interest or penalty is PMT 06. This challan is used to make the payments. Then the challans generated are valid for 15 days from the date of generation. When is the challan required? Challan is required to pay the liability under GST when the cash ledger doesn't have sufficient balance. That is, in order to add balances to the cash ledger, we have to create a challan and make payment. So challan is generated when, to meet the output tax liability, our cash balance is not sufficient, so the differential amount has to be paid in cash, and for making any cash payment a challan is required to be generated. For meeting the interest, late fee and penalty liabilities also challan is required to be made. Then in case of demands from the department or any errors noticed at a later point of time, then such errors can be rectified using voluntary payment, and for any voluntary payment challan is required to be generated. Let us take a sample scenario of ABC traders. So in this example we have output tax liability of Messrs ABC traders as rupees 5000 under CGST, 5000 under SGST and 2000 under IGST. Also the interest liability is rupees 500 towards IGST and rupees 200 is the late fee. So total liability is rupees 12,700. So to create the challan to meet the total outstanding liability, we have to first log into our GST portal. So we have to go to www.gst.gov.in and log into our account using the credentials. Then we have to navigate to the services tab. Under the services tab we have to go to the payment option and further to create challan option. Then challan creation is a step-by-step process, so let us understand. First we have to fill up the tax amount, that is under the head CGST, SGST, IGST, or if any cess is applicable then we have to fill up the cess also. So first we have to fill the tax amount column, then we have to select the interest, penalty, late fee or any other payment that is required to be made under CGST, SGST or IGST head. Once the challan is properly filled up, we have to choose the payment mode, that is if we want to pay through e-payment option or net banking or NEFT, RTGS or over the counter, that is through manual challan. Then if we select the net banking option, then we have to select the bank and generate challan option we have to click in. Then once we click on the generate challan option, challan will be generated and we have to note down the CPIN, that is the common portal identification number. Afterwards we have to proceed with the payment modes that we have opted for, that is if we have opted for net banking then we have to choose our bank and proceed with the payment. It will redirect to our bank sites and once the payment is done it will be redirected to the GST site. Then if we have chosen NEFT or RTGS, then we have to take the mandate form to the bank and we have to make the payment through bank. Then over the counter, this is the option that is available only up to a maximum of rupees 10,000, that too for some selected banks. So let us see how net banking payment is made. First, we have to choose our bank, then we have to click on generate challan and proceed for payment. Once we proceed for payment, the site will redirect us to our banking site. There we have to authorize the payment and it will again be redirected to the GST site. Once we are back to the GST site, the payment confirmation and challan can be viewed and downloaded and a SIN number is generated. Then the challan receipt and history. So we can download the challan or view the challans by navigating to services. Under the services option, we have to go to payments and under this we have to choose challan history. So the status of the challan will be reflecting as paid and we can download the challan from there only. We can check the cash ledger balance by navigating to services, then ledgers and electronic cash ledger. There we can see the values have been updated as per the challan that we have paid. That is, we can see the breakup of the tax amount, interest amount or penalty amount, late fee amount in the cash ledger, and we can use this amount for filing of our GSTR 3B return. What are the common mistakes to avoid? Wrong tax head entry. If while creating a challan or making the payment, wrong tax head are chosen, then it will be credited to that head only and that balance can be used for the payment of that head of tax or interest or penalty amount only. Not paying within 15 days. If a challan is generated but not paid within 15 days, it will expire. Then wrong payment mode. If we have chosen the wrong payment mode and we do not proceed with the challan, then such challan will be useless and we have to generate a fresh challan using the correct mode of payment. Then forgetting to download the receipt. Although the challan history is always available on the GST portal, but it is always advisable to keep a hard copy or soft copy of the challan downloaded from the website. So to summarize, use form GST PMT 06. So for payment of any taxes, interest, penalty or late fee, GST PMT 06 challan is used. Choose correct tax head and more. That is, the taxes must be paid under the respective CGST, SGST or IGST, whichever is applicable. Also, the heads like interest, tax, penalty or late fee should be properly reviewed before making the final payment. Then complete the payment on time. That is, the payment shall be made within the 15 day during which the challan remains active. Then check cash ledger balance before filing of return. Any payments made through a challan must be re-verified with the cash ledger so that it is ensured that correct amount is reflecting under the correct head. So one important aspect to note down here is if we have made payments under wrong head, then we can transfer the payments to the correct head using form PMT 09. Also, the cash balance of one GSTIN can be transferred to another GSTIN on the same PAN using form PMT 09. We will see this with a live example. So let us quickly go to the GST portal and see how challan is generated and how this PMT 09 form is used to transfer the balance of cash ledger. So let us see how challan is generated in the GST portal. So here we have logged into our GST account. We have to go to payments. In the payment option, we have to go to create challan option. So here we have monthly payment for quarterly return, that is for those who have opted for QRMP scheme, and this one is for any other payment. So we have to choose any other payment. Also we can view the ledger balances here. For example, here cash ledger and credit ledger. We have no balance in our cash ledger, but we have balances in our credit ledger. So let us proceed with challan creation. Here is the reason for challan, that is any other payment. So suppose we have tax liability of rupees 10,000 under CGST head, interest rupees 250 under CGST, penalty 0, fees rupees 100 and other payments 0. Then under IGST we have, suppose we have 5,000 tax liability, 125 rupees interest, 0 penalty, and late fee is always levied under center and state heads. Then others 0. Cess, we do not have any cess. Then we have to choose the SGST, that is 10,000. Again 250 rupees interest, 0 penalty, 100 rupees fees, 0 here. Total liability comes to rupees 25,825. This amount has to be paid in cash because we do not have any input tax credit. So here we have to choose the payment modes. We have e-payment option, then we have over the counter option. Here this is the note that is coming. This payment mode is not available for challans exceeding rupees 10,000. Please make payment using other payment modes. So since our total amount exceeds rupees 10,000, so we cannot use this option. Then we have NEFT or RTGS option. Here we have to select the remitting bank name and challan will be generated. Then we have to use that challan and make the payment. So let us select the e-payment option and click on this generate challan option. So here challan is generated successfully. This is the SIPIN number, then challan generation date, challan expiry date, that is 15 days from the date of generation. Mode of payment is e-payment. Here's the details of taxpayer. This is the GSTIN, email ID, mobile number and everything. Next, this is the heads under which we have filled out the details. Then here we can select the preferred bank option. Since we have made the payments mostly using this bank, so it is coming under preferred bank option. Then we can choose other banks from net banking option. There is a list of other banks also. First we have to select the bank, then we have to agree to the terms and conditions and we can proceed to make the payment. Also we can use debit card or credit card. Here are the options for debit card and credit cards. Again we have to agree to the terms and conditions and proceed to make the payment. Then we have UPI option. Here is the UPI option. We can use the UPI payment option also. So once we have suppose chosen net banking option and we can once we click on the make payment option, it will redirect us to the bank's website. So once we have made the payment, it will appear under the payment option and here is the challan history. Here are the challans we have generated and made the payment. So this is the challan we have generated but not paid. This is the challan we have generated and paid. So this is the challan. So this is how challan is generated on the GST portal. Now let us see how cash ledger balance is transferred from one GSTIN to another GSTIN of the same PAN or from one head to another head in the same GSTIN. So here to transfer the balance we have to go to ledgers. Under ledger we have cash ledger. Here is the option to transfer the amount. file GST PMT09 for transfer of amount within the same GSTIN, then file GST PMT09 for transfer of amount to different GSTIN on the same PAN. So since in this case we do not have any other GSTIN other than this, so we will use this option to see how interhead transfer is made. Here, cash balance, cash ledger balance, we do not have any cash ledger balance, but if we were having some balances, it will be reflecting here. Then cash ledger balance, preview of updated balance. If we have made any payment, then it will get updated here. Then add record. Here we have to select the transfer amount from, like from which head we want to transfer the amount. Like if we have IGST balance, but we want to use it for CGST, or better, let us take an example of having a CGST balance and we want to use the balance in the SGST account. Then we will choose CGST, minor head, tax, interest, fee, penalty or others. We will use, suppose we want to offset the tax liability against this balance. So tax, then amount available, it would be automatically appear here. Then transfer amount to, here we have to select the amount that we want to transfer to. Suppose we want to transfer the CGST balance to SGST balance, so we will select SGST balance. Here we have to type the amount. This amount will always be greater than this amount or equal to this amount. So if suppose if we had rupees 10,000 available, then we can transfer up to rupees 10,000 to this field, that is tax field. So let us suppose 1,000 we want to transfer, then we will save this and we will proceed. Then the balance of CGST cash ledger balance will get transferred to SGST cash balance. So this is how interhead transfer of cash balance is done. So that's it in this session. Thank you.